Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the THE Counsellor webinars. We're thrilled to have Saïd Business School at Oxford University with us to discuss the full range of Oxford University summer school programmes they have on offer. So with us today, we have Joe Fawkes from Saïd Business School at Oxford, Dr. Richard Waters from the Future Climate Innovators Programme, and also Asta Jamieson, the CEO of Spark to Connect. So we hope that you can learn about the fantastic opportunities for your students on how they can gain unique access to the world-class resources at Oxford. The session will be about an hour, and feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A box below. We can get to them at the end of the session. So yeah, very excited to have you with us, and I'll pass over to Joe now.
Thank you, Amelia, and welcome everyone. We're really excited to have the opportunity to talk to you all about the youth summer programs that we're putting on here at Oxford University. For those of you who may not be aware of the University of Oxford, it's one of the oldest universities in the world. It was founded in 1096, and we're very fortunate that and very proud as well that it has been voted #1 university in the world for the last 9 consecutive years running. That's been voted by educationalists and students and other opinion formers as well. As you might expect at the university, we have a lot of experience in entrepreneurship, in sustainability, and in a number of other disciplines. The university is known particularly for its medical sciences divisions, also its humanities, and we are from the business, which is an integral part of the university. So I'll tell you a little bit about Saïd Business School. The business school is not as old as the university. It was founded almost 30 years ago, but it is ranked as one of the world's leading business schools. We run a number of internationally renowned programs such as MBAs. We've got a big executive education program. And this year, we launched a new youth education program or portfolio of programs for students who were aged 16 to 18. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tell you a little bit about these programs and answer any questions you may have at the end of the session. So I'm going to hand over to Richard Waters, who's going to tell you a little bit about our summer school program on Future Climate Innovators.
Thanks so much, Joe. So my name's Richard, and I'm the program director for the Future Climate Innovators Summer School, which is one of the portfolio of summer schools run out of the Saïd Business School. And it fits within a real concern within the business school for climate change, for educating about climate change. And we ran this program for the first time last summer, and it was a resounding success. Young learners from all across the world gathered for 2 weeks in Oxford to learn more about climate change, to widen their subject knowledge, to explore the University of Oxford, and crucially, to work on their own sustainable innovations that met one of the challenges that we put to them as part of this program. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so what exactly is the Future Climate Innovators Summer School? So it's a 2-week residential at the University of Oxford, and participants are given a chance to learn with each other within this global cohort, but also under the guidance of world-leading academics at the Saïd Business School, at the University of Oxford, but we also draw on other leading universities within the UK Last year we had representation from Cambridge University and from UCL as well. But actually, one of the most remarkable things about this, and one of the things that was a real privilege to see whilst we were running it, was how much they were able to learn from each other, and how rewarding it was for them to hear about the challenges on the ground in different countries across the world. And we really saw the impact of that in the projects that they were running. It was just remarkable to see the innovation, but also the nuance and the sensitivity to the local conditions, on which climate change is acting right across the world. And this cohort has gone on, and it formed a really tight-knit community after they left. And we're seeing some of these innovations that they worked on the program continue to be developed after they left. It's not just about climate change itself, though. This is a real opportunity to gain some transferable skills that will be, absolutely fundamental to their further study and to their subsequent careers. And that's something that we gave a lot of thought to when we were designing the program. So there were sessions on public speaking, on debating, on designing business proposals and business pitches, but also plenty of time to get a feeling for the University of Oxford as a whole. So I'll move on now to talk about the specific subject areas that we covered. So if I could have the next slide, please. So two overarching themes run through the whole of the fortnight programme, and those are climate justice and business at a time of climate change. And we got the participants to really understand, question, critically analyse these two themes from lots of different perspectives, some of which they brought, but some of which we developed through the curriculum. And last year we covered 5 key themes, which were brought out of the previous Oxford Burgeo Climate Change Challenge, which is a global youth climate change competition. And these 5 themes are extreme weather, food security, water scarcity, air pollution, and biodiversity loss. And we selected these not only because they have a real sort of breadth and depth to understanding the challenges posed by climate change in different places, spaces, countries, but also because they represent some of the best and most exciting research coming outside business school and the University of Oxford at the moment in the field. So if I could have the next slide, please, Amelia. And most fundamentally, we were interested in developing, 4 key learning outcomes through this program. The first was the practical application of theoretical knowledge. So absolutely, they got a taste of university style teaching with some of the sort of cutting edge theoretical understandings of these challenges, but they also got to apply it in a really practical way. And in doing so, they got a really good grounding in the skills needed for future innovators, whether that is in business or whether that is in other spheres like policy or government. Participants left with a really in-depth understanding of climate challenges, far beyond what we would usually expect to see at that age group. And it was really inspiring to see them see their ambition and see how they were applying this in preparation for advanced study and their careers. And indeed, we know many of them have gone on to make really competitive applications to the University of Oxford and to other globally competitive universities. Okay, then next slide, please, Amelia. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. How do we actually run the programme? It's a really varied fortnight, and each of the 2 weeks are run slightly differently. The first week is our foundation week. The main purpose of it is to develop the core subject knowledge. Participants have lectures, workshops, and seminars in the Saïd Business School across the 5 key subject themes that I just outlined. These are really engaging. They are completely bespoke. They've been developed specifically with young learners in mind. We aren't taking anything off the shelf that is usually used for undergraduate teaching. This is really engaging, interactive educational content. They also have training in transferable business skills, but also hands-on learning with some of the amazing collections at the University of Oxford. So our attendees were at the historic Botanic Gardens with a hands-on session about the challenges that climate change is posing to biodiversity. They were at the Museum of Natural History, and at the world-famous Ashmolean Museum as well. They also heard from inspiring keynote speakers. To name a few, we had First Light Fusion, who are based just north of Oxford, a spin out of the University of Oxford, who are pioneering nuclear fusion technologies to provide clean, green energy to meet energy challenges, and from a startup that was again a spin out of a university that is creating a sustainable alternative to down as an insulation material. And we also launched the Extended project, and I'll speak a bit more of that in a few slides' time. Okay, Amelia, so if we could have the next slide, please. I won't dwell too long on this, but this just gives a sense of what the days look like on this program. And what we see is a real mix of academic content, extracurricular and supercurricular work, and also plenty of time to explore the University of Oxford and to learn more about its admissions processes and the application process. So in the second week, we really focus on the application of this learning. So if we move on to the next slide, we see that much more focus is given to their extended group project, where they are asked to respond to one of the challenges that we've examined with an innovative business proposal that meets one of these challenges, which is ultimately presented in the Future Climate Innovators conference on the final day. And this gives them a really unique opportunity to present their business ideas at the Saïd Business School at the University of Oxford to a panel of experts, receive bespoke feedback, and gain some really outstanding skills as a result of it. Now, Oxford is famous for small group teaching called the tutorial system, and our attendees also experience this. So they receive detailed feedback on their business proposal from academics at the University of Oxford, and also have a small group teaching session where they are given feedback to develop this project further. Now, when we did the evaluation, one of the things that candidates were most enthusiastic about, and certainly something I absolutely loved seeing, was the model COP. So this is run by an academic at the University of Cambridge, and the model COP recreates the UN's climate change conferences within a day, with participants taking on the roles of a diplomat from one of the participating countries. It's a really engaging way to learn more about how these kinds of challenges are tackled at an international level, but also to refine debating skills, public speaking, in a really fun, accessible way. And this culminates in a graduation ceremony where participants are presented with a personalised certificate from the Saïd Business School in recognition of their attendance. Okay, Amelia, if we could skip forward 2 slides. Thank you. I'll talk a little bit more about some of the other aspects of the programme. We see a couple of the photos from last summer here, some of our attendees at St John's College who hosted us. So Oxford is a collegiate university. And what that means is that there are 39 smaller campuses that come together to make up the University of Oxford. These colleges are historic institutions. Some of them date back nearly 1,000 years. And for undergraduates, they are the centre of teaching, of their social life, their accommodation, and their sports and dining as well. And we were really fortunate, and indeed will continue to offer our participants a taste of this really essential part of Oxford life. So all participants stay within an Oxford college, and for all intents and purposes exist as Oxford students during that time. They eat together, including at the famous Oxford formals. They have evening social activities at the college. And most importantly, they are looked after really, really well by a dedicated team of student ambassadors. Some people might call them student counsellors, who are on call 24/7, and porters within the college as well, who are also there to look out for our participants. And what was really, really lovely to hear from participants was how well looked after, well cared for they felt during this fortnight. And I think, you know, we really do go above and beyond. We have an excellent ratio of student ambassadors, of counsellors to participants, and we really go the extra mile to make sure that they are well looked after and well cared for in their time in Oxford. So if we just move to the next slide, I'll speak a little bit more about some of the other extracurricular activities that participants experience whilst on the programme. We do one away trip. Last year it was to London on the programme. There are a wealth of workshops, games, other fun activities, including hunting, mini golf, loads of things to ensure that, you know, the program's not too heavy and that there are lots of opportunities to make friendships that will endure long past the end of the program. Okay, if we move to the next slide, I'll just say a few words on Oxford City as well. So the Saïd Business School is at the heart of Oxford City, and everything within this program is just a short walk away. And actually, it's an ideal city for young people to visit on a program like this, because it's really, you know, it's safe, it's a student city. Participants are able to see some absolutely stunning architecture that they might even have seen in some films, and everything is within walking distance. And our participants are free to explore this with the guidance of our team. So just to wrap up, I'll talk a little about who participants actually interact with on this program. So I've mentioned before that the faculty teaching on this program are world leaders in their field. And one thing that we're really proud of in this program is that we really do showcase the best of Oxford's climate change research. Oxford has an immense pulling power for faculty, and this is almost unique in giving participants a taste of you know, the staff at Oxford, and ultimately that is what makes Oxford a remarkable university. We've got an experienced team of ambassadors who are there to make sure that all of our participants are involved, feel safe, included, and are really getting the most out of this program. I'll also be there, and you know, it was a real privilege to get to know some really inspiring participants last year, and I really look forward to another successful program this summer. So I'll leave it there for now. I'm sure there are questions about what the programme looks like, and I'd be more than happy to pick up some of those at the end of the session. Before I go, I will just say a few words on the attendance criteria. So we are open to applicants aged 16 to 18 on the 1st of August 2024. We have an English language requirement of B2 upper intermediate level of the Common European Framework of Reference for Language. And perhaps most importantly, we are interested in candidates who are passionate about creating a more sustainable and just future in the face of a changing climate. So the application process, if we just go on to the next slide, please, Amelia, is basically 4 stages. We have an application form that candidates fill in. We ask for a teacher reference. Candidates are then invited to an online video interview, which they are able to take in their own time. And there is a rolling admissions process where we continually assess these applications and make decisions. So finally, then, the fees for the programme are £9,900, and that is inclusive of absolutely everything that they need whilst at Oxford. So all tuition, activities, accommodation, and all their food is included within that. We also include transfer to and from UK airports and train stations, although the international travel itself is not within the it's not covered within the fees. Nor is health and travel insurance, and this needs to be arranged by the participants. And as an early bird offer, we are excited to announce that there is 10% off these fees before the 31st of January 2025. Okay, and I think there's a lovely photo of the graduation ceremony at the business school last summer. It was a really lovely day. And a wonderful way to mark the end of the fortnight of the inaugural Future Climate Innovators Summer School. As I said earlier, I'd be delighted to take any questions at the end of this session, but for now, I will hand over to Asta to talk about the Oxford Saïd Teen Summer Academy.
Thank you, Richard. And I think there are many parts of Oxford experience which I'm not gonna repeat, but thank you for having me today. And I would like to cover our second sister program that happens right before our Climate Innovators program. So if your teens want to stay longer in Oxford, we have an opportunity to do that and do 1, 2, or even I think 3 programs, because we all scheduled one after another, and we will make sure that some of our, I think, cultural and historical experiences to be in Oxford are not going to be repeated. So it will create a unique opportunity for all teens to attend. So I'll share more details about Oxford Saïd Teen Summer Academy. So this is a program focused, it's also 12 days, 11 nights program based in Oxford, with a similar experience of staying in Oxford colleges, but it's mainly focused on leadership development, social impact activities, company visits, a little bit of an entrepreneurship case experience studies, and most importantly, have experience of pre-college life, develop friendships, and get inspired while being here in Oxford. This unique and exclusive program is designed to empower young minds, inspire them to become impactful leaders and change makers in the communities and beyond. And you can go to next slide. And learning, it's focused, as I mentioned, on leadership development. We have 5 key topics that will that will be taught by our esteemed faculty. It will be leadership, innovation, AI, entrepreneurship, and social impact. Experience, I think Richard covered, it will be similar, but we have university college tours. We're going to have meetings and discussions with university students, cultural and historical activities, and different social events. We're planning a silent disco, Warner Bros. Studios day trip, so kids have experience world of Harry Potter before having a graduation ceremony in the Divinity School. That will give them a wonderful way to celebrate the accomplishments and what we achieved during those 2 weeks. Next slide. As I think Richard mentioned, safety and safeguarding is our highest priority. We have counselors that will have a safeguarding and first aid trainings for all of our staff that will be watching after the kids. For every 8 students, we'll have 1 adult ensuring their communication and understanding and making sure that kids integrate and from different countries and places and able to make friends. English requirements, I think it was mentioned, we have meals that will make sure, we all well fed, but also will ensure any dietary requirements are met for kids that need it. Now, how to apply. Applicants are 16 to 18 years of age. We have a personal statement and an interview, which I think similar to the other programs. And after enrolling, applicants will be invited, for an interview, and then application will be confirmed if then applicant is selected. Certification, I think this is one of the big things that is, I think, quite important to parents and the teens to celebrate the accomplishments, and the certification comes from Saïd Business School. Also, what I wanted to mention, I think that's a recent addition to all our programs. All our program participants, I think, for any of these programs will have access, I think, for 9 months to the e-learning library and modules that have wonderful classes related to leadership, communication skills, and other topics. So that's a benefit that will be available to every participant of all our programs that will be attending the program. Next slide. So all our programs, this program, includes lodging and meals at university. We have Oxford faculty-led lectures, case studies. We focus on project-based learning. We do city-day trips and cultural activities. One of the things I would like to highlight is our social impact activity. The teens will be able to use volunteering hours that might be helpful or needed for their college application. It's as a requirement. We do a social impact activity. We're going to partner with one of our Oxford local community service partners to get kids involved in volunteering activities. It will be a potentially half day or a little bit longer during one of our program days. Health and travel insurance is included in this program, as I mentioned already, certification. And one of the things we are trying to develop a mentorship program with current university students in the subject area they're interested. So if this program is focused on leadership development, but if the teen is interested, for example, study biology, we can try to connect them with a current student that's studying biology in the same field. And develop a mentorship relationship, so we really understand and get inspired of what it takes to get into Oxford, what it's like to be a student, and also understand the topics and subjects they're interested to study after the program is completed. Next slide. Here's a sample of our program activities. As you can see, we have a good balance of lectures at Saïd Business School and also other activities. that we start most of our days with well-being activities. I'm going to be on site. We do walks around college. We have a running club, and in the evenings after the lectures are done, we'll ensure that kids spend time outside playing outdoor games, and different sport activities and team building activities that help them to make friends and work in teams. Next slide. So here is a bit about our faculty. We have dedicated faculty. It's still being confirmed. This faculty is already confirmed, and we have a great range of top experts that will be teaching different subjects in our programs. And we also will have some external guest opportunity for teams to meet with our alumni. And we also try to do the company visits to Oxford, one of the companies focused on entrepreneurship and business pitching. The kids can understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and also invite other guest speakers. And this is, I guess, the last slide. If you have any questions and interested, to learn more or to understand a bit more about the teaching, the custodial care, the structure of our program, please reach out directly to me. I'll be here to answer any questions, or anyone on this team as well. We are one big team, and we can help you to, make the decision which program they want to decide to join, or also help them to understand what it's like to be a part of this program. And as of today, I can say we have over 20 countries representing registered students. And it's a truly global experience, because we have kids coming from all different countries. That makes really significant part, I think, of being the part of this program, because kids coming from all different parts of the world and making friendships for life. And Richard covered most of the college experience and what it's like to be in Oxford. So I don't want to repeat that, but thank you.
Thanks, Asta. So I'm going to talk to you about a brand new program that we are designing at the moment. And this has been designed with our Oxford Saïd Entrepreneurship Centre. And we will be running this program in August as well. So next slide, please. So as you can see, the aim of the program really is guiding students through facilitated processes to generate and test new ideas, and then help them pitch them. So in week one, the students are going to start by identifying their default communication styles and stress patterns, and how to design for them in order to support healthier team dynamics throughout the week. And that sort of builds upon the idea that one of the biggest breakers of startups is co-founder fallouts. So it's really important that these students learn to work together as a team, work on defining problem spaces that they're excited to explore together, and also customer groups that they'd like to target. We're then going to cover the whole area of customer empathy, and that's where the student teams are going to be challenged to identify pain points amongst their peers that they can solve with a new innovation. And so we'll encourage students to think about market sizing, competitive analysis, and just how big the opportunity might be for their idea. So they'll get involved in things like customer mapping, spotting where opportunities are for innovation, and also helping them design value propositions. Business model design is a really key aspect of week one. But what we will help the students do is create their first business models. And to do so, we will be drawing on inspiration from startups in different industries. And so these sessions will also teach students how to apply investors' critiques to their ideas as they refine them. There'll be a lot of coaching involved in this as well. So the students won't be just left to just develop the ideas by themselves. There's a team of professional coaches who will be on hand, as well as mentors to support them. They will learn pitching skills because communicating ideas is a huge part of entrepreneurship and leadership. This isn't just for raising investment, but also learning how to pitch for sales, recruitment, and also inspiring teams as well. And so at the end of the first week, there will be a pitching competition where student teams will engage in this competition and be able to start to put the learnings from week one into practice. And what we will be doing is we'll be bringing in successful startup founder judges and investors to feedback on the students' ideas. Next slide, please. So the focus for week 2 really is on applying and building these entrepreneurial skills. How this will happen is we'll be looking at experimentation and testing ideas. We will be encouraging the students to test their ideas with real customers. So they're going to explore different types of risks in business and generate ideas for how they could rapidly test those risks. They'll also explore about how they can bring products to market faster, and also how to use non-digital processes in prototyping methods and in exploring usability. There's a corporate innovation challenge that is planned. So this is all about, how the entrepreneurial skills the students will have learned throughout the program can be applied to different contexts and career pathways. And so the challenge that they will be given will explore how to disrupt an industry by leveraging a corporate's unfair advantage and entrepreneurial skills. Sales and marketing, fundamental part of developing a successful business. So we will be giving the students a strategic grounding in sales and marketing and starting to hone some of their practical skills using, various relevant case studies. We'll also be equipping students with a core grounding in funding strategy and the practical skills to create early financial models. And we'll be explaining to them, all about the different funding options that are available, and also how to examine different financial models to determine different scaling paths. And then finally, on the thought leadership side, students will start to think about how they can build their credibility as thought leaders in different spaces. And what we will be doing is we will be encouraging them to do TED-style talks based on what they've learned during that week to gain experience in communicating their vision. So a lot of content on that program. Next slide, please. So key details are that this program runs between the 3rd to the 16th of August. So as Asta said earlier, we will be starting off with running the Oxford Saïd Teen Academy, then going on to the Future Climate Innovators Summer School, and then finally ending up with this Future Entrepreneurs School as well. So it would be fantastic to encourage young people to either participate in one or, in all 3 of our programs next year. It will be based in Oxford, just as the last 2 programs. It will be, this one will be at an Oxford college. And in terms of fees, they will include accommodation, food, all activities, etc., just as the other programs do. Next slide, please. So why should students apply to the Oxford Saïd summer school portfolio of programs? Well, we think that they're absolutely unique in the market. They are academic, and they also provide, unparalleled networking opportunities for the students as well. It is the only official Oxford University academic-led summer program portfolio, of course, from the world's best university. What we're also aiming to do is we will also be providing post-program free mentoring and also access to exclusive Oxford student-only content to help them develop their skills further. All of our programs are led and fully supported by dedicated academic and pastoral teams. All students will receive a certificate from the University of Oxford. And as we know from our experience last summer, the students will have an unforgettable experience, and importantly, they'll also have the opportunity to join our new Oxford Youth Alumni Network as well. So the details can be found on our website. There's a QR code on screen, but we will follow up with more details of these programs. So we've spoken a lot, and we're just wondering whether you have any questions for us.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Jo. We have had a few questions come in, so we might have covered some of them already in the session, but the first question is this organised by the university or a third party on Oxford campus?
This is organised by the university.
Brilliant. And the second question is, are the interviews with a live interviewer or pre-recorded questions, or does it differ between the different summer school programs?
I can speak for the future entrepreneurs and the future climate innovators. They will be recorded, so they won't be live. But Asta, you might want to answer questions about your program.
For Oxford Saïd Teen Academy, for the 2025, we do live interviews with one of the team members.
Brilliant, thank you. And the next question is there a link to the website where the programs are hosted and an application link? We will follow up in an email with those details as well. I'm not sure if there's anything you guys want to add on that.
No, all the information should be there. There may be a slight delay in getting the information on the Future Entrepreneurs program, but it will definitely be there next week.
Brilliant, thank you, Jo. And we have another question, which is, are there any key differences between a summer organised directly by Oxford, a summer school organised directly by Oxford, and those organised by a third party on campus?
Yes, definitely. So these are the only official university summer schools. The students will receive certification from the University of Oxford. They are the academic programs have been designed by our faculty, so our subject matter experts, and the student ambassadors are undergraduates of the university. All of the people teaching on the program are either academics at university or researchers. And we also call on our extensive network of experts, global experts, also to participate in the program. So it is very different to a commercial summer school program.
Brilliant. That's good to know, Jo. We have a question from Joyce, which is, for inclusiveness inclusiveness, which is good for all the students. Do you give any scholarships, or are there any discounts offered for the summer schools?
So at the moment, we're running an early bird offer for the Future Climate Innovators Summer School. I know that there will be some bursaries available for the Future Entrepreneurs Summer School. Asta, you might want to respond to this question for the Teen Academy.
We're also waiting for a couple of donations, I think, for partial scholarships that also will be available in January timeframe, which parents can reach out to us as well.
Brilliant, thank you. We have lots of questions coming in, which is great news. Very good to know that everyone's very excited about the programs you have on offer. So the next question is, how many months, Asta, did you say the students would have access to the e-learning library? Also, what aims do you have for the e-learning library, if you have some, and what would you hope the students would do with that access?
So I think I'll know what I know, but I'll hand it to Joe, as it's fairly a new addition to all our programs. I understand that kids will have access to the e-learning library with modules related specifically on entrepreneurship, leadership development, recorded lectures that they can complete at their own pace, and I think that will create a sense of community and access to programs nobody else has. None of the other summer programs available, but Joe, please add on, as you probably know much more about this as well.
Yes, so this portfolio of online modules and programs is normally only available to undergraduate students of the University of Oxford who undertake, entrepreneurship programs. It's an amazing portfolio of programs, teaching students about all the things to think about starting up businesses. Plus, as Asta was saying, there are also things like leadership modules in there, team working modules, etc. So we will be giving free access for the 12 months after the summer school program to participants on our summer school program. And also, as I mentioned, we will also be running a free mentoring program as well for 12 months.
Thank you, Joe. And now we have a question which is just about the minimum age for the programs. Would it be 16?
It's 16, I'm afraid, because the colleges that we stay in, they tend to have a minimum age range of 16. So that's the reason.
Thank you. Yeah, and we have a question from Helen, which is, how big is the student cohort for each summer school? Do you have some kind of quota of nationalities just to ensure a mix of nationalities? And also, do you require formal English language certificates or a test for international applicants at all?
So I'll take the English requirements. It's very, very important that students do have a good level of English. Last summer, we had a couple of students whose English, and we did take a bit of a chance on them, that, wasn't as, up to standard. And they did struggle at the beginning, although we did help them through it. And we did a lot of scaffolding and worked with them an awful lot. And actually, by the end of the 2 weeks, they were so happy they didn't want to go home. So they were thrilled. But, it really does help if the standards of English are good, because it helps, if you meeting new friends, and also understanding the lectures and being able to work in teams, and also to be able to participate fully as well. And I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the other two parts of the question.
No worries. It was a very long.
On that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Asta, would you like me to repeat, or Yeah.
I remember,
Okay.
it's related to the class size. I think our lecture halls accommodate, I think, the maximum of 80 students. So I think this is the maximum number per program. But please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm envisioning a cohort probably being between probably 55 to 80 students for Oxford Saïd Teen Summer Academy, and probably similar for other programs.
Brilliant. Thank you, Asta. And now we have not a question, but just a comment from Flavia, which is just congratulating you guys on the whole team for the outstanding programs, and that the webinar has been very informative. So great to hear the positive feedback, and also knowing that counsellors are excited to inform their students about these amazing opportunities at Saïd School of Business at Oxford. So we have a couple of more questions that have come in. Galina says, excellent presentation. Is the cost of attending more than one program a sum approximately, or is there special consideration when a student will attend more than one program? So I think that's just related to the costing.
I'm sure we can discuss that.
Yeah. No worries, no worries. And just to let you know, Galina, as well, there'll be contact information in the email that we send out. So if you have any specific questions related to costing, we can, everyone will get in touch with you. Another counsellor has asked, that we'll reshare the QR code. I will do that with you, and you'll also receive a link after the webinar takes place. We have one more question on the IELTS equivalent score that students need to enter the programme. Joe, is this a question for you, or?
I can, Richard might have a bit more information on that, but otherwise I can follow up afterwards.
Yeah, no worries. In terms of specific requirements for English language, that will also be sent in the follow-up email. And Joyce says, thank you very much. Very thorough and interesting webinar. And also a question from Georgia. Although an international school based in Portugal, the IB curriculum here is taught entirely in English. Would they need proof of English level?
So what happens is when the students undertake the application form, they will also be asked to video, some of their answers as well. So we can, roughly work out what their levels of English are from the video. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Most important thing is that the students feel confident, so that they can enjoy the experience.
Brilliant.
The other thing I would like to add, which is a bit of an aside, I'm currently speaking to you from Delhi in India. And because I came here to visit some of the students who were at our Future Climate Innovators summer school back in August. And it's really important for us that, we do stay in touch with the students who have attended our programs. And the school is very excited, and hopefully they're going to send some more students along. But they asked me to pass on their best wishes to all those people who are all the school counsellors who are attending this, and also to say that, it is a program that they would thoroughly recommend as well.
Oh, that's brilliant to hear, Joe. And I'm sure good for the counsellors to hear as well. We have one more question, which is, what are the interviews assessing, and what is the approximate acceptance rate?
I can talk about the future climate innovators and probably the future entrepreneurs. And Richard, I'm sure, probably might want to add a few things to that. I think with the future climate innovators, it's all about understanding students' passion for the topic, because, you know, it's we encourage the students to get involved in all sorts of different aspects of, you know, really thinking about sustainability and climate change, and also, you know, thinking about how they can really, you know, impact the planet as well. So, you know, it's really important that they do have a passion for the topic rather than just, you know, coming along and, you know, just wanting an Oxford experience. In terms of the Future Entrepreneurs Programme, again, you know, it's very important that the students, you know, have, you know, come up with ideas or, you know, want to think about how they can start coming up with ideas to develop new businesses. So we really want to encourage students who are interested in innovation, but also interested in starting up businesses as well. And Asta, on your Teen Academy, what type of students would you like?
Ambitious kids that want to be inspired and really, I think, differentiate themselves from the others who after being here, we wanted to do more. I mean, we want to make a difference. We want to become leaders. We want to become changers. So I think we do have interview, and I think the personal statement, asking specific questions to answer and be creative, and also push themselves beyond their current peer network, beyond their current location and place, to really reset or in a way explore opportunities and develop new ideas that can make a difference in their lives, and also want them to become better and at leadership, at public speaking, curious about all the different topics that are led by our top researchers and university faculty.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you so much. It's been great seeing all of the questions come in, and I think that the councillors really got some interesting insight into the summer school programs that they can relay back to their students. So I think that's it in terms of questions. Everyone is very excited and very thankful for the amazing presentation. So thank you so much, Joe, Richard, and Asta. In terms of just some logistics, we will send the deck to everyone that is registered. So you'll receive a copy of the presentation and also a recording of the presentation in the next coming days. So thank you so much to all of our amazing councillors for attending. And once again, thank you so much to our panelists as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to sign off now. It's been a great session, and have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.